Yeah, along Grattan Quay there, where Willie Watt had the factory, and if you came down Dry House Lane, where Geraghty's tire place is now, that was where Willie Watt's factory was, on Grattan Quay. He had the other one in Anstey. But across the road there was a thing called a hulk. There was hulks all the way down. That's what they were called in Waterford, but they were London pontoons. They were built specifically, originally I think, designed for the Thames for mooring, right up, miles long of river up into central London. And these were kind of tanks, or kind of buoyancy tanks, and you put a kind of a landing stage out onto them from the quays, and the ships could moor, and they'd have a certain draft of water at the end of it. So there was one of them opposite Willie Watt's place in Grattan Quay. There was another ship, we talk about him in the Cretefield, a concrete ship, an ammunition ship, that was used as a dock there, and ships used to discharge small colliers, coal boats. But we'd swim on the hulk, and in those days you could see 15, 16, 20 people swimming, diving off the bridge at high water, there. And we used to swim there, and there were steps as well down, swim over to the hulk, or walk out onto the hulk. And then, so I learned to swim down in the water side, just there at John's Bridge. There was an old jacks there that we used to, you'd undress in that jacks there. You could dive off the river at high water. Can you imagine swimming in that there? But it was fresh water. It was harder to swim because there was no salt. It's easier to swim in the sea with salt water, more buoyancy. So that's where I learned to swim, after having two near misses and falling into the river at the bridge, at the slip on the far side of the bridge from the Grattan Quay. Fellas used to fish there, Crowd, dozens of people fishing there for, you might get the odd bass and the odd trout, but mostly mullet now. Mullet is not a pleasant fish. You get eels there and fluke or flatfish. And but we were fishing there one day, and we had an old dog, a terrier I think it was, or was it a cocker spaniel? Anyway, the leash fell into the water, and I stretched out too far, like, boom. And I still meet the man that saved me. Like, I was just going under the bridge for the last time, because you actually do go down once or twice, and you. But whatever, I just made it before I went under the bridge. It was only 7 or 8 at the time. I still remember as vivid. I made a quick swivel around, and Charlie Flynn, who had a proper rod, which was kind of, it was a salmon rod, which is a long kind of fishing rod. Because we used to, most people were so poor, like you made your own fishing rod. A bamboo cane with them little eyelets, and you put a bit of catgut through and a hook onto the thing with a few worms that you had to collect in Bilberry or whatever. But Charlie Flynn, I know Charlie, he used to drink in Ali Max and that. He was a porter in Mount Sion there for years. I think he might be still there. I'd say you know him, but anyway, I still see him around in the library from time to time. He was in Ali Max one night. I got he said, "Oh yeah, give that man a point. He saved me life. He should have left you in the fucking river." Can you imagine? Yeah. Because there was a little corner there. They were all Fianna Fáil types, and you can cut that. But look, anyway, you know what I'm saying. But that I remember that. He'll tell you as well.
So he jumped in?
No, he just as I was going under the bridge, that was the end of me. Like, if I'd gone, because once you went down under that, the concrete, the old.
You put down the rod, wasn't it?
Yeah, the old Rice Bridge now I'm talking, not the Rice Bridge, what was it called? Redmond Bridge, the old Redmond Bridge, yeah. And if you went under, so he just put down this thing and I grabbed it, because you grab anything in those situations, and hauled me in. Yeah. And so it was a lucky escape, so I learned to swim after that. And then, just to get back onto the swimming. So we used to swim around the hulk on Grattan Quay. P.G. O'Shea, myself, Remy Roach. There was a kind of a crew, and they were all from around the area. The Wilmots and all this sort of, and the Simpsons from Glasshouse Lane and the Glen, and P.G. was from Clashray Place, which is close enough near Morgan Street there. And but there was dozens of others that swim there, and we moved then up to Bilberry, and PJ kind of had PJ set up this kind of a club thing where he called it a Silverfin Swimming Club. And he wrote Silverfin. There was this little place up. You know when you come around the Bilberry Rock there after the current halting site. There was the brick factory was in there, and there was tunnels. And they had a little mini rail system going around there back in the day. It was derelict at the time, but the tunnel was there. So we'd undress there and just run across the road into the river. Yeah, the best time to swim and the most safest is at high water or when the tide will be on the turn. You know, I'm not sure about the science of this, but for us and based on our experience, when a tide reaches high water, there's about a half an hour when it's very placid. It's like, you know, it's kind of static almost, and so therefore you're not being pulled either way with the current. Although we got to know the currents, we could swim something. If you wanted to go to Point there, it's like you learn this when you're doing navigation at sea as well, sort of about you know, the way the tide is bringing you one way, but you have to judge it so that if you want to end up there, yeah. So we'd often swim across the river to the railway, and then you'd have to walk down. You know that? Do you remember that little bridge that goes over? It's still kind of there over the rail. If you wanted to get back to Bilberry, then you'd have to walk back down towards the station and go into the river there and swim across to the tide would bring you over where the roly polies were. It is, yeah. And we'd know the currents and the slipstreams are kind of backwaters, we used to call them. Again, I don't know what the science is this, and I'm sure some of the lads in Cheek Point and who work the river for a living would tell you, but they know all the little eddies and backwaters and all that. But so we'd swim, but mostly we'd go up when we'd make sure that the water was, the tide was high. That was the best time to swim, because you got depth of water as well.